Okay, I'm I'm Dwight, a home solution advisor with Quality Service Company here in Florence, South Carolina.
And I'm Gene. I'm a home solutions advisor for Quality Service Company in Florence as well.
So we're going to dig right in. We're talking about rood equipment today. We're talking about the rood spring promotions that's going on right now. We're talking about special financing that's going on right now.
Right.
Now we're going to pick out three specific pieces of equipment that rood offers, and let's talk a little bit about them. We're going to be talking about the UP19AY, which is a Cadillac
Yes,
that
sir.
rood offers. We're going to be
Nice.
talking about the RP15, which is a 15-seer two-stage. And then we're going to be talking about the new RHP BYC, which is a two-stage package unit.
Two-stage package.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's nice.
Well, let's before we start talking about some of this equipment, let's talk about some of the things that in the past people talk about heat pumps.
Yeah. The heat pumps of yesteryear.
Yeah, heat pumps of yesteryear.
Yes.
Yeah. So the old heat pumps had a reputation.
They did.
Yeah.
Most people said anybody had a heat pump back in the day would talk about in the wintertime, the cold air blowing out of them.
Yeah.
They didn't like them because they blew cold air all the
Yeah.
time. It just felt drafty in the house. It ran a lot. That was a huge complaint of the old heat pumps in the wintertime.
It was the old R22 systems. They struggled in the colder weather. It felt drafty in the house,
Yes.
and they were all noisy.
Yes, they just didn't have the heat moving capabilities we do now.
That's right. And the modern heat pumps that we have out there now, we have multi-stage compressors. We have the inverter-driven compressors.
Yes.
That goes from like 40% all the way up to 115%.
That's amazing. That's a big variation in power consumption being used when this unit's running.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
you're pulling, if you're pulling 40% to heat or cool your home, how much more efficient is that than pulling 100% all the time? It's just
That's
great.
It automatically where it's connected with the controller, but it adjusts the output or the capacity of the system depending on what the needs are.
Right.
Of the home.
The controller tells the system what it needs.
Yeah, and that changes not only from house to house or season to season, but day to day, from morning to night. The
Sure.
capacity changes.
Yeah.
So,
In South Carolina, you might be running heat in the morning and then air in the afternoon.
yeah.
I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
So
And we run longer at lower speeds with
That's right.
this equipment.
Yeah.
It's better dehumidification control with this
Right.
equipment.
Well, in the summertime, when it comes up and a lower percentage of its full capacity is running a longer stage, which means you have a longer period of dehumidification, which dries the house out. In South Carolina, what that means. That means comfort.
That's right. That's right. Let's dig right into the UP19.
Okay.
Right off the bat, fewer temperature swings within the home, better humidity control, lower operating costs, and quieter performance.
Yeah.
Yes.
The temperature swings in the home. As you know, this system. This is a inverter-driven compressor, which means it's going to come up in a lower percentage of what you really maximum capacity of the equipment.
Yeah.
So when it comes up in a lower percentage and it's running a longer, more steady cycle, it helps even the house out a little bit better.
That's right. The controller, and compared it with the variable speed and the inverter, it drives the system like cruise control. Right?
Yeah,
I think
that's right.
Yeah.
Cruise is
Yeah.
like a dimmer switch. You can,
Yeah.
it just kind of brings up what it needs. The more light you need, the more you cut it on with the dimmer switch, and the controller controls the system. The more system you need for heating or cooling needs,
Yeah.
it drives that system to do what it needs.
Yeah, and it does that with a variable speed modulation. That's a big word.
It is.
That's almost as big as watermelon, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
No, but that's the inverter that goes from 40% to 100%.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, and even 115% during extreme conditions.
That's right. It has the capabilities of over ramping in order to provide additional heating or additional cooling needs. When that time happens.
Yeah.
And we do meet those extreme temperatures at some points.
Yeah.
Sometime
Yeah,
in South
that's right.
Carolina.
That's
The cold sometimes is questionable, but the heat is always
The
going to
heat,
be.
we're going to hit it. We're
Yeah.
going to hit it. Yeah. So let's talk about how the UP19 dehumidifies your home.
Okay.
Okay. Not only whenever it's running in lower capacity, like 40%, it's going to have longer run time. Longer run time means it's removing more moisture out your home.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because it's dehumidifying as it's removing heat.
Yeah. That's right. And the controller actually has the capabilities of overcooling your home by a set point that we can set there and install.
Gotcha.
By 1 degree or 2 degree. And so, like at night, whenever you don't have that heat gain, you don't have that heat load at night in South Carolina, but it's still 95 degrees outside.
Right.
And your thermostat is satisfied. It's actually going to crank the unit up. It might overcool your house by a degree or two, but it's going to remove that
So
humidity.
you're saying if we set our humidity on like maybe 60%, and the house is over 60%, if the system needs to run a little bit extra to get that humidity out of the house to make it more comfortable, it has the capabilities of running that unit a little bit longer just to help us.
That's right.
with
It'll
comfort
crank it up
levels.
and run it at a low speed. Just to, you're going to have a colder evaporator coil. It's going to really suck that moisture out.
Okay.
And it's going to bring that humidity back down in the home, even at night.
Well, you're sleeping in the cool, and it's drier, so it feels better.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And the EcoNet actually has the capability of it has a feature called Smart Humidity Set Point, where it automatically adjusts the humidity set point in the home based on the outdoor temperature. And what this does is it helps prevent window condensation in the summertime.
That's pretty amazing. And the EcoNet, of course, is the Rude thermostat that's made for Rude to work this particular piece of equipment to do all these functions.
That's right. And the UP19 is quiet.
I've heard they're quiet.
Yeah. So there are several things that Rude put into place.
Yes, sir.
Just the refrigeration design inside the unit.
Right.
The base, the composite base, so it isn't rattling on a pad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
The
no
inverter,
doubt.
the inverter drive. I call it the bat fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. The condenser
It
fan.
looks kind of like it.
It does. Outside. So the decibel levels of the UP19 hit around 58.
That's low.
Yeah,
That's quiet. That's really quiet.
That's quiet.
Yeah,
Our conversation right now is 60.
Wow. So if this unit's sitting, say, outside your bedroom window or sitting beside your patio where you're entertaining and it's running, sometimes you probably wouldn't even hear it running. If it's in a low stage, the fan's going to run a low stage, the compressor's running a low stage, so it's quiet.
Yeah.
So it's not so important that it's sitting somewhere way off in the yard or somewhere away from you. It can be closer and still be quiet.
And we run into that all the time during installs.
Yeah.
During the years, someone might add on to their home. They add on a screen porch, and they like enjoying the outdoors. They like grilling out.
Right.
And then they have an old 10-seer clunker over there that sounds like what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
It sounds like a 71 Ford with glass packs cranking up. And
That's
out there in
right.
the backyard.
Amen. That thing is running. It's loud. It's loud. They're trying to carry on the conversation, but because of the fan noise is so loud on the unit and the compressor's so loud, you have to talk louder to even carry on the conversation.
That's where the UP19 really shines.
Yeah.
Right.
Quiet.
It isn't just the decibel levels inside the home. It's also being able to enjoy your outdoor space.
True. And the indoor unit's just as quiet, which is amazing. We put in a couple of these, and people have talked about, I don't even know what's running. They don't even know what's running because the fan inside will run different speeds depending on what the compressor speed is running, and all that goes hand in hand. So if it's running a lower compressor speed, the fan's running a lower speed.
And the ductwork has a lot to do with that too.
Tremendous airflow.
Yeah, we target a specific feet per second with the airflow that's in this duct.
Right.
And that's really important with a return. You know where the returns are mostly in someone's home. It's in a common area.
That's right.
A common area is where the family, comes together. You eat, or it's in the living room where you're watching TV or carrying on a conversation.
Right.
Yeah, so the last thing you want is for the unit to come on and you hear whistling behind you from the...
That's right.
But we see that all the time with undersized returns.
We do. Undersized return is, the returns have to be sized for the tonnage of the equipment, which is, as your tonnage goes, each tonnage moves a certain amount of airflow, or we call it cubic feet per minute. So if the returns aren't sized correctly, and we run into so many that are undersized that we need to enlarge, or we enlarge when we go to these homes to do work, the airflow is just better. And will it work like it is? Sure it will.
Yeah.
But what could it do if everything was right?
That's right.
You don't know what it could be doing really if it's not correct to start with.
That's right. So talking about the EcoNet,
Nice controller.
Rude reports that the EcoNet Control Center can reduce the home energy costs by up to 30%.
What do you contribute that
Not
capability to do that?
Not only does it have the algorithm built in place that's going to cycle the unit and work on the capacities of the equipment and only deliver what you need at the time.
Right.
But it can also control your water heater if you have a
really?
water heater.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
You could use your controller, your thermostat to control your unit and your water heater.
That's right. Yeah,
Okay.
all of that's built into the EcoNet.
Gotcha.
That's
That
what
would
the
be a
capacitors are.
Rood air conditioner and a
And a
Rood water heater.
Yeah, the heat pump
Okay.
water heaters are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and that's actually
That's a
another
whole
video.
nother
Yeah.
facet, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and,
That's amazing.
and also the modulating performance that's controlled by the EcoNet. You
Right.
know, the 40% to 100% with the inverters.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
understand it's Alexa integrated. So if
Oh,
you
yeah.
have an Alexa at home, you can
Yeah.
talk to your Alexa and tell it to do whatever it needs to for your thermostat, and you don't have to get out the chair
That's right.
to turn the air conditioner up or down.
That's right.
So
That's right.
we've kind of come a long way, haven't we?
Yeah, we've
You
come
know,
a long
we
way.
used to just tell the kids to go do it. Now we can just sit in the chair and talk to Alexa to do it.
Let's talk some numbers real
All right.
quick with the kilowatt, and also with these spring promotions going on. Duke Energy has rebates that's available to the customers too for upgrading their equipment
Right.
with some of this equipment that Root has.
Okay.
So right now in the spring, I mean, you have there's a lot available, so now's the time to do it.
Oh yeah, now's to do it before the hot weather gets here. Now's the time to do any changing or modifications or equipment. You know, you've got a 15-year-old unit or so, and you're had issues with it, or it's
Yeah.
leaking Freon, or something that is going to need replacing.
Yeah.
While the rebates are in place and all that stuff,
Yeah.
now's the time to do it.
Now's the time to do it. Now's the
Yeah.
time to get a home solution advisor
That's
into
right.
your home.
Just-
yeah,
yeah.
not June whenever it tears up.
Oh
on a
no,
100-degree
no.
day.
When June rolls around, everybody and their brother's going to be calling. So go ahead and beat the rush and get
Yeah,
it now.
beat the
Avoid the
rush.
rush and get this done while we're not in such a hurry, or it's not so detrimental
Yep.
to your comfort.
So the kilowatt with Duke Energy right now, and this is just throwing some numbers out there.
Okay.
All right, so now we're up to somewhere around 50. They just had an 8% increase.
8%.
8%.
That's a lot.
Well, I don't want Duke mad with us. I'm
No.
not going to say it's a
Oh
lot.
no.
But
no.
still, it's an increase.
Yeah, it's an increase,
It's an
yes.
increase. So, I mean, we're paying like $156 and change per 1,000 kilowatts. It's, a little over 15 cents a kilowatt.
Okay.
The average runtime for your equipment in South Carolina, we're above the national average. National average is like 2,100 hours per year.
Okay.
If we go from 25 to even 3,200 hours of runtime per year, which is conservative. If you look at the lifespan of their equipment,
Right.
that's where the numbers are going to bore you.
Yeah.
But when you look at the lifespan of their equipment, let's say a 20-year-old piece of equipment you have sitting out there, an old 14 SEER,
Right.
you're going to end up at 15 cents per kilowatt. You're going to end up paying over $26,000 in electrical bills to run that piece of equipment.
For the year. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
lot.
over the lifespan of their equipment.
Right.
Hopefully
I
not
got
for
you.
the
I
year.
got
If
you.
it's
I
for
got
the
you. I
year,
got you. I got you.
if it's for the
Yeah,
year, they're going to be
that's true.
calling
It
us.
could be for the year,
They're going to be calling us.
No doubt.
Yeah. So that's a lot. So when you look at it that way, you're spending that money. You're spending that money. So you can spend it on a system upgrade, and you can be comfortable, and have the low decibel levels that we're talking about, the comfort, dehumidification, all the bells and whistles that come with it. You can spend that money on something for your home, or you can pay Duke Energy. Either way, you're going to spend that money.
That's true. You might as well put something in that's efficient and you have warranty on.
Yeah.
And
That's right.
And there you go.
Yeah, the 10-year warranty, right?
Yeah,
We talked
10-year
about
parts warranty. That's
Yeah.
right. We've talked about that in another episode.
And right now is like the best time to do it. Not only do we have the promotions, but we have the special financing.
That's right.
So Rood's offering the 0 for 60 months.
0% financing for 60 months.
I almost said 60 days.
I know, right? That'd be like
it's
paying
0%
$26,000 a year for your light bill.
But if you have zero, if you want to pay it off in 60 days, pay it off in 60 days.
There's no early payment,
Yeah.
any penalty for that.
That's right. No early payment penalty.
That's right.
Yeah. But if it's 0%, you're not being penalized for not paying it off early.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the UP19.
That's the UP19. That's the Cadillac.
It's an
of the
amazing piece of equipment.
Amazing piece of equipment. Let's say if the UP19 isn't a good fit for your home.
Well,
Okay. And that happens. We can hit right in the middle. It's still a great piece of equipment. It's RP15. All right.
That'd be a 15 SEER unit, 15.2 SEER.
15.2 SEER. Because
SEER 2.
not everyone wants the top tier.
Right, that's right.
And yeah, so, but the RP15, it's a 2-stage piece of equipment. So we move from the inverter to the 2-stage. So,
but we're still talking about staging equipment here.
Yeah.
We're still talking about
Absolutely.
units that crank up in a lower percentage of their total, which means when they start up versus a 1-stage system, it's still less expensive to operate.
Yeah. That's how you achieve efficiency, and that's how you achieve comfort in a home. Is that multi-stage equipment?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
two-stage, the variable speed equipment is amazing. The two-stage equipment is awesome. If you come up in it with a Rude, it's a 70%, 70-30 brake on that two-stage.
Yeah.
So when your system comes on in a 70% capacity, the current draw is just for 70%, not 100% to start
Right,
with.
right.
And then it's going to come up and run a longer stage or a cycle. And let's face it, summertime is what we're really getting for here.
That's it. That's it.
That's
Yeah.
where we're really hitting. You can buy space heaters to put in somewhere, but
Yeah.
air conditioning your home
You can't
is
cheat that.
tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
And,
So,
and you know, also in South Carolina, whenever we do a load calculation, we size it for the heat gain, not the heat loss.
right,
in
the
South
heat
Carolina.
gain in the summer coming into home, what's coming in your home from outside, you've got to
Yeah.
combat that and get rid of that heat.
Yep, yep, that's it.
So that's units are sized for that here in the South. And when a system comes on at a 70% capacity and runs a longer stage, you're going to get better dehumidification. You're going to get more efficiency of it running, more even temperatures in the home because you're running a lower steady. It's like a car. You get a better gas mileage when you get in a car and just drive it, for a longer period of time instead of starting and stopping.
Well, I'm
So
going to have to write that down
Yeah,
because
so-
that's
so-
definitely a,
Yeah, so if you're in town and you're starting and stopping just continually, you're burning more fuel.
yeah,
So if you get on a highway and set it on a 55 or 60, on a steady course, your gas mileage goes up. It's the same way with this. You're burning less power, running a steady course at a lower rate.
and that's where this RP15 by Rude, that's where it just hits that sweet spot.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So you're not getting the very top tier. You're not getting the Cadillac, but you're getting better than the base, and you're definitely getting better than what you have
Yeah,
right now.
anything single
Yeah,
stage for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, and most people
Yeah.
still running single stage equipment 10 or 15 years ago, or if your unit's 10 or 15 years old, 90% of it's probably single stage.
That's right. That's right. I mean, let's face it. In South Carolina, it's all about humidity control. It's all about humidity control.
Yes.
That in the past, that's consumed a third of the horsepower.
Getting rid of the moisture.
Yeah. So if you have a 3-ton system in your house, a third of that horsepower is getting rid of what's called the latent heat.
Right.
Yeah. So better control over that and more efficiency on the control of humidity.
Yes.
Because that's what you're paying for with this new equipment.
Right.
Yeah.
And for people in South Carolina who know they've got a little pipe that sticks out by the air conditioning unit and water comes out of it in the summertime,
a lot of
that's
water.
what we're
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
That water was actually vapor in your home before it was pulled out and put out that tube and dumped in your yard. And all that
right.
moisture is what was making you uncomfortable in the house.
And that actually brings up a good point. I know we're not going to talk about it too much today because we'll be getting in the weeds.
Yes.
But whenever that little P trap that's on, let's say you have a package unit or
Yes.
even a split system and that condensation line that comes out, if that gets stopped up, all right, and we see this all the time in the summertime, but it gets stopped up and then your pan fills up with water.
If it's in your attic or somewhere and that pan fills up.
Yeah. Now, if it's a package unit, a lot of times it goes unseen because it's not just stored in your home or you don't think it is, or underneath.
Right.
It could just overflow the pan and it just leaks underneath your house.
It'll
and
leak out wherever it can leak out.
and no one knows it. But at the same time, this blower fan is picking that moisture back up, a lot of that moisture, and it's putting it right back in your house.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're paying to remove it, and then you're paying to put it right back in.
That's true. That brings up a topic of maintenance.
That's right.
You need to have these
That's
systems
right.
maintenance.
I got astray, but that's why I was heading
Yeah,
to. is the
there you go.
maintenance.
Yeah, maintenance is so important. To vacuum these drain lines out and make sure they're running in the summer to get rid of that water. From inside.
So it's important to get us around there to your home. We have maintenance plans. We'll come around twice a year. We clean the coils, we check everything out, we make sure the drains are draining.
Right,
Yeah,
freon levels, capacitors, duct work. We'll inspect the duct work just to make sure everything looks good, nothing's falling down or blowing air under the house.
Yeah.
So that's part of maintenance, and we kind of got off on that.
You don't invest in a brand new car and then not change the oil in it.
That's right.
Yeah.
You service your car, you service your air conditioner.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. What
That's
the
right.
the 15.2 SEER 2
Yeah,
two stage?
Yeah, the RHPBYC.
Right.
And yeah, we just put in a couple this past week.
Yeah, those
That's
nice
yeah,
systems. Very
yeah.
nice
So
system for a mid-range system. It is a very nice system.
so package units, they've been slow to catch up with the split systems.
They have.
It's because the Southeast is the package unit capital of the world,
Yeah,
right?
and just us, kind of.
It's just us, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the manufacturer's a little slow to catch that up. So, but Rude now offers two-stage package.
That's right.
So,
Up to now, everything in package was just single stage.
Yeah,
And you didn't
yeah.
get the advantage of having two stages with the efficiencies that brings
Right.
and the dehumidification that brings
Yeah.
with a package unit.
Yeah.
And most of you know, if you have a package unit, that means it's in a big box outside.
The big box outside,
Yeah. If
yeah.
you got a little unit outside and you've got a unit in an attic or under the house or in a closet or something somewhere, these are the split systems that we were
Right.
talking about
Right.
earlier. But a package unit, pretty much all the equipment's in one box outside. So
Yeah, and the RHPBYC, it's included in the spring promos. You can get the 0 for 60 for
Okay.
it. It's included. You get the cashbacks with Rude. That's right off the top whenever we're quoting the
That's
job.
pretty
So,
awesome. So when
yeah.
we give a price on these pieces of equipment, we're taking money off them from Rude just as a rebate. And then, of course, if you're a Duke customer, you get a rebate
Yeah.
from Duke,
That's right.
which is amazing. Of course, anytime you can take it off the bottom line, that just helps your bottom line.
That's right. So whenever you compare these systems with like just, I just want something that works. I mean, whenever you compare the cost with the promos that's going on right now, it isn't that far.
No.
It isn't that far apart.
To go with a standard system to one of the systems we talked about with all the rebates and the discounts and the stuff of that nature is really just a little bit more of a cost to get a much nicer system.
That's right. That's right.
So, I mean, if it was my house or your house, that's what you would want to do.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. Yeah, always go for the two-stage or the inverter. Always.
That's right. That's
Always.
right. The inverter's nice. The two-stage is
It
nice.
pays off in the long run, too.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. Efficiency, home comfort, noise levels.
And the promo for Rude, this equipment we're talking about, that ends May the 31st, I believe. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. It's May the 31st.
May the 31st.
So now's the time to get a home solution advisor.
That's right. Call us. We'd be glad to come out to your house, look everything over, see what you've got going on, make recommendations to you. Whether it's inverter or two-stage. It's going to benefit your home. We're going to look at the duct system. We're going to look at return sizes. All of this stuff just plays such an important role in your home that most people don't even think about.
Yeah, so spring is the smartest time to upgrade.
It is. Do it now before it gets hot.
Yeah, so like what you just talked about, upgrading in the spring, the installation schedules are a little more flexible.
Much.
So no one likes to admit this, but yeah, when it gets 100 degrees outside, we get busy.
We do. And when we get busy, more people call in. We have more change outs. Right now we are in a little bit of a slower season. It is much easier for us to schedule someone.
Season, I believe.
That's right. Much easier if someone has a unit that's completely down, that we can get to you in a good, timely fashion and get you back up in your home cooling and everybody in your home back to where you want them to be.
That's right. So whenever you call and you make an appointment for a home solution advisor, that'll be me or you, and we go to someone's home, this is what we're going to look at. We're going to do a load calculation. All right.
Yeah.
We're going to make sure the piece of equipment that you have on your house is sized for your home.
That's right.
We're going to look at the duct work. We're going to look at airflow. We're going to look at the condition of your duct work.
Right. That's right.
I know we talked about this before. Some of this equipment's been upgraded 2 and 3 times, and it still has the old duct work on it.
40-year-old duct work.
Yeah,
Right.
and people think it isn't important, because it sucks and blows, right?
That's right.
It isn't important.
That's right.
But so whenever you pay to condition, you pay money to create that condition there.
That's right.
Okay, and then you blow it through your duct system, and it's leaking out underneath your house. You're literally paying money to heat and cool outside.
That's right. And if your duct work's in the attic, you're doing the same thing.
You're doing the same thing.
That's right.
Yeah. So that plays an important role.
Huge.
Not only for your comfort, but for efficiency.
Huge.
Yeah.
whatever air you're pulling out of your home, you want to condition that air, whether it's adding heat or either removing heat, and then put it back in the home. So you don't want any wasted air going anywhere other than those two places.
Yeah. So, used to their equipment was over and under. That means the supply was up top and the returns down below, and that's the way the duct was designed for your homes. There's a lot of homes still out there like that.
Right.
And then the customer will opt in. I mean, they upgrade their equipment normally because of a critical failure. They upgrade their equipment, and then you put a conversion box on this 1960s ductwork and convert it to a side by side, which is what.
And put a 20 by 26 unit to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it just doesn't really add up to do that. If the ductwork needs to be replaced, we'll give you that option and really recommend doing it.
Yeah.
So that's something that's taken on a one by one, basis. We'll
That's right.
come to your house, and once we assess everything, then we can give you our true feelings on what you've got going on and what we recommend.
Because the equipment alone doesn't fix comfort problems. Proper design does.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, I think we pretty much covered the equipment today. The three pieces of equipment that we really like and that have qualified for the rebates and the discounts.
Yeah. The spring promotion from Rude.
That's right.
The special financing. So the three pieces of equipment that we cover today is RP19, the RP15, and the 15.2 two-stage package unit.
Correct.
Yep.
Yep. So that pretty much would fit about any application that's out there.
That's right. That's right. So give us a call today. I'm Dwight, a home solution advisor with Quality Service Company.
And I'm Gene, a home solutions advisor with Quality Service
Nice
Company.
to meet you, Gene.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a good day.